You tuned in to the 7-day theory. Hard body, hard spirit.
What up, my people? Hard body, hard spirit. Check this. Got another David update. D4vd. New name is PDF David. That's his new name. That's what I named. PDF David. Especially after today. Right? Because let's jump right into it. The update, he was supposed to have a preliminary court hearing. It ended up being just a regular court hearing, and they rescheduled the preliminary court hearing for May 1st. I believe that's either on a Monday, might be on a Monday, May 1st, whatever day that lands on. So that's when the preliminary court hearing will be, and I think on that date we'll have a lot more evidence that is brought to court. But today, as far as for the update we got today, the big news that came out of the courtroom that everybody was reporting on, everybody's talking about it. They got David's phone. They got his iCloud. I don't know how or when they got it. Obviously, they might have got it when he got arrested, for real. And if they did get his phone, if they just got his phone when he was arrested last week, and he still had all this. All right, so look, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they got David's phone. What they found on his phone were, how can I say this? Illegal A minors, right? If we cut in a Kendrick Lamar type of way, I'm saying he had videos that are illegal, that they are illegal to view, illegal to have, illegal to make, illegal, just illegal, period, of children, of minors. And he had so many, like they said, he had tons of video, like so much was on his phone, so much of this, it was, they called it significant, a significant amount is what they called it, tons of these type of illegal videos was on his phone. Now, we didn't get the details. It doesn't say is this stuff that he downloaded, or is this stuff that he just went on the website and viewed, or is this, or what it was, or is this actual videos that he took himself? We don't know. Now, we know he has other victims. We know victim number 3 came out after he got arrested, and she made a Reddit post that I think it's been deleted now, but she put out on a post how she feels much safer, how she is happy that he's in jail, and she feels a lot safer, and she doesn't want to come. She doesn't want to be. She wants to stay anonymous because she wants to have a life outside of this court case, which I totally understand that. But so we didn't get the details of what is on these videos. All we know is they're illegal CP videos, right? So cheese pizza, like y'all know what I'm saying. See, when I say CP, y'all know what I'm talking about, the illegal videos. So he had so much of this on his phone, but we didn't get the details of what it was, right? Or these videos that he took himself. Now I'm willing to bet. If I was a betting man, I would bet that he on his phone, or even if he deleted somewhere, because they have his iCloud, you know how you can store stuff to the cloud. They got all that too, right? I'm willing to bet that he has some sorts, either one or multiple videos on his phone of him and Celeste. Which, if he does, it's crazy that I don't know if it was still on his phone, or if you can delete something and they can still bring it up. But if he still had that on his phone, that's wild. That's wild, first of all. But it's wild, period, to have it on his phone at all. The whole situation is beyond wild, right? But to still have it on your phone this many months later, that's crazy. Like, you would think that you would delete those, right? If you have it, I'm willing to bet he does have videos of him and Celeste together because of the charges that they charged him with, that the DA charged him with. They charged him with lewd and lascivious. I can never say that word. Lewd and lascivious acts with a minor, with someone under 14, right? Lewd and lascivious acts with someone under 18, and continuous contact and acts with the minor, right? They charged him with that. They have to have some idea, some type of evidence that points to that shows that he had a sexual relationship with Celeste. They have to have some type of evidence, and I'm willing to bet that it might be a video evidence. It might be pictures, video, right? So on his phone, he probably has the DA probably has video evidence of them two together. That's why they charged him with that, right? That's what I'm thinking anyway. Because they have to have some type of evidence. They're not just making up these charges out of thin air, right? Especially like these charges, there ain't no defense against these charges. Like so even if they do, let's say it goes to trial and he beats the murder one. Well, they still got him on a whole bunch of other charges. Dismembering a body, his relationship with Celeste, and I'm willing to bet that they not only have video proof, right? Videos or pictures, they probably got that, but they also it came out when this case first started. There were text messages that came out of Celeste texting one of her friends and telling her friend how she messed with David, and in those text messages she was actually talking about another guy who she messed with before David. But in those text messages she talks about messing with David, and I'm willing to bet that them two talked about their relationships and what they did. So they probably have text message proof and evidence of this relationship. So for as far as the PDF file type charges, the messing with the minor, those charges, I don't see him beating them at all. Like not even a little bit. And those are felonies, right? He can get a lot of time for these crimes that he's charged with. So even if he does beat the murder, he's gonna be found guilty of something. But I think he's cooked. To be honest, I think he's done. It's a wrap. I think like the DA said, I don't think they have one smoking gun of like a video of him unaliving her. No, they don't have that. But what they do have is a mountain of evidence, and all that in totality, that evidence will show and will prove without a shadow of a doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he is Celeste's killer. He is the one that unalived her. Now, also, since my last video on this, the autopsy report came out. The autopsy report shows that she was stabbed. She has multiple stab wounds, it's something they didn't specifically say knife. They said it was with a sharp instrument, right? Most likely a knife though, because they're only like this deep, like pretty much the same size of a knife. That's how deep her wounds is. They showed a body. They had on the autopsy, it has a drawing of a body, and it shows one stab wound here up by the chest, and then one on her, which would be her right side, down like almost like right under her chest, like by her rib and her lung. And then she also had stab wounds on her back, back right side, like 2 or 3 stab wounds there. And if this makes it to trial, if this goes to trial, he don't take a plea deal or nothing, you're gonna hear, because in the autopsy report it says this is what may have contributed to her demise. May. They put that word may. It wasn't it wasn't conclusive. It wasn't like for sure. This is what they used the word may. This may have led to her death, right? That's gonna be that's something the defense, I already know the defense is gonna zone in on that and try to blow that up, right? They're gonna try to exploit that because they're gonna try any and everything to show or to raise doubt in the fact that how she was unalive. Like they're gonna bring up because she had like alcohol in her system. I think she had methamphetamine and MDA, which is like ecstasy or whatever. So she had like 3 things in her, which that's not how she lost her life. It wasn't for that, right? But they're gonna try to bring up anything, and with the word may, since it's not conclusive, it's not definitive. They're gonna use that to their advantage to say, oh well, even the autopsy says this may. It wasn't a for sure thing of this wasn't exactly how she. It's not conclusive of exactly how she passed away or how she was murdered. So they're definitely gonna use that. It's gonna be a battle of like of corners because they're gonna have the prosecutors are gonna have the coroner who did her autopsy. He's gonna take the stand and say everything he went through and everything he found, and then the defense is gonna question him. You know, they're gonna do their questioning, and they're gonna try to make them. They're gonna try to make them slip up or make them say something that is not favorable to the prosecution. And then they might even bring in their own coroner to say, oh, well, it's possible that she could have passed away from the drugs that were in her system or from something else, right? But anyway, she had like about two stab wounds in the front of her body, and I think 2 more in her back. So that's what they're saying is what unalived her. Now, there's video. Now, people already, since the autopsy report came out, and even before the autopsy report came out, when they said that a sharp instrument was used, people were saying like, well, how can they tell the difference? Because and I hate to bring this up, but even to say this, like this, to even report on this is disgusting for what he did to this girl. But her body was dismembered. Her body was in 2 separate bags, 2 cadaver bags, mind you. These ain't bags that you just go to Walmart and buy. This ain't some shit that you just pick up at the store. Like, he had actual cadaver bags that police put deceased bodies in, the actual cadaver bags, right? That's what she was in. Her head and torso was in one, and her legs and arms were in another. Now, 2 of her fingers were cut off. They have not found them. I think one was her like ring finger on her right or left hand, and like a middle finger or something on the other. And then, but her arms were cut off at the shoulders, both arms, and both legs were cut off above the knees, almost like way above, almost by her hip, damn near, like almost going into her hip. Her legs were cut off, and those were in separate bags. In the report, they do say that she was left in the trunk for a long time. That she was left in the California heat in the summer for a long time, for months and months. She was in that car for like months. So obviously she started to decay. They said part of her face was starting to skeletonize. One of her eyes was gone. Like, now they don't know if that's something that he did or if that's because you know when you have dead bodies and stuff like that, you have insects and stuff that eat your flesh and eat stuff like that. It's sick to say, but that's the shit that happens. That's what happens, right? The family, after the court hearing on what was it? On Friday, I believe it was. Yeah, after the court hearing on Friday, the family released a statement. The family had never spoke at all publicly, hasn't said nothing until now. They released a statement. They said thank you to the police, and thank you to all the people that like from the people from their city that supported them and showed them support. They said some other things too. You can look it up if you want, but they made their first public statement. And from the reports, people that have been in court, every court hearing he's had, the parents have been there. And now I know there's a lot of people are like, me included, are like, feel like the parents did not do enough, right? As far as her being a missing child, because she was like leaving, she was coming to the house and leaving the house, like she was reported missing, but she would pop up at the house, just like we saw in that video of her arguing with the neighbors. That video was taken at a time when she was reported missing, after she was reported missing. So obviously and then they have pictures and stuff of her going to like family functions and family events after she was reported missing. So we know that she didn't just leave and then never came back. She left, and she was not living at home, but she would come back however often she pleased, right? So they had seen Celeste. So a lot of people think that they could have done a lot more. And yes, I think they could have, but do I think that, like, it's not their fault that David is a sick individual and that he did this to her, right? But at the same time, she shouldn't even have been around him. Now, how much did they try to control? Because look, you can only control somebody, so you can't lock a kid up in a room. You can't keep him hostage. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so far you can go. But I just feel like they could have done a lot more, like a lot more. I don't know what exactly I would have did to stop her from going. I probably would have fought, like, if she just kept leaving and kept leaving. If one of my kids did this and kept leaving and just kept leaving, I would follow him. Like, I would literally would follow him. And yeah, like, I couldn't get rest unless my kids was safe in their bed at home. Like, so a lot of people feel like, some people feel like they should be charged with something like neglect or something like that. I don't know. I think that they've been through enough with this situation to charge them it'd be kind of wild. But I understand people with that perspective and with that way of thinking. This case is, and I want to really understand that. I want y'all to understand that Celeste was a 13-year-old. I have a 16-year-old. I have an 11-year-old. I have a 10-year-old. I have a 5-year-old. I couldn't imagine my 11-year-old, who some people say Celeste met David when she was 12. Even some people even say 11 when they first started talking, but 13 for sure when they started like a relationship. My kid is gonna be 12 this year. I couldn't imagine my 12, and he's my son, my 12-year-old son talking to somebody that is grown and in a relationship with somebody that's grown. I couldn't imagine it. And then the power dynamic of him being got hella money, he's rich and famous, and her family is not rich at all. You know what I mean? The power dynamic in that. She was a fan of his. That's probably how they met. She probably listened to his music. She was a fan, and she was a kid. So he took advantage of that. He completely took advantage of that. But I want to say, Celeste was, from what I got especially from the neighbors video. If y'all didn't watch that, watch where she's arguing with her neighbors. She was not no quiet, timid look like girl. She spoke her mind. She said what's on her mind, and she was loud and she was aggressive at times about what was on her mind and what she wanted to say. So she wasn't the type of kid that you can just keep quiet. And that came out in the live stream when her and David are sitting there. She literally told on David, but everybody, like, she literally was telling us what was going on, before any of this happened. When her and him was on the live stream, and he said, I media trains you, right? He's trying to say something, like he's trying to make it a big deal that he did something to her that's controversial. He's like, oh, I media trained you. That's controversial, right? He's making a big deal of how him media training her is controversial. And her response was, it's controversial that you're raping kids. And she said, and as soon as she said it, she like kind of laughed and like screeched and blurted out and covered her mouth, like almost like she couldn't believe she said it, but she was telling the truth. She was telling the truth. And she didn't say a kid. She didn't say R word and kid. She said R word and she said raping kids, multiple. So I believe, and we know now that David spent Valentine's Day with Celeste and with another, like I think they were in separate houses, but he on Valentine's Day he spent time with Celeste and he spent time with another victim, another minor, another child. So I think she knew about that. She found out about that, and she probably was not happy about that fact. And out of her mouth, she literally told us what he was doing before any of this happened. Like this should have been shut down really right after that live stream. Like if they would have investigated him and if somebody was investigating him before that for the crimes of just messing with a child, this wouldn't have happened, right? This wouldn't have happened. It's just sad. It's just sad all the way around. I wish like literally almost everybody around this child failed her, because if they didn't, she wouldn't be like this. And like as far as guidance, as far as like just guiding her in the right direction. Whoever was around her, like they failed her. They failed her completely. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. 7-day memberships, $1.99 a month. If you do sign up for the membership, I will shout your name out in every video. Shout out to John Paul. Keep your head up and your eyes open. I'm out.
You're now listening to the 7 Day